Good morning, crafty friends. Hello. Happy Saturday morning. I am Beth Roy, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So as you come in, I'm just going to wait a second for my notifications to go out. But as you come in, please say good morning. And if you're new to my page or to my lives, please let me know where you're coming from. So I have a new setup this morning. We're going to test out how well this goes. Just looking for my live video so I can see comments. Good morning, Jenny. Okay. So this morning I want to play with this Saleabration set. Just trying to get my video up here so I can see the comments. There we go. Okay. So I want to play with this set this morning. This is a Saleabration item that you can earn with a $50 purchase before tax and shipping. So this is the last, what do we have? A couple weeks left of Saleabration. And I want to make sure you guys don't miss anything because these are exclusive stamp sets and papers. And I think there's one die set still left. I didn't check this morning. And then Stampin' Up! Also added some things from our annual and the mini catalog to supplement some of those items. So that's always awesome. If those things are on your list, this is a great way to earn some of those things free that's out of the annual catalog that's been added. And if you have any questions when you're ordering, please message me because they have different numbers for the Saleabration. And I don't have that sheet printed off. I apologize. My printer is on the fritz, so I don't have a visual of that. Good morning, Linda. So I created this card right here. I was inspired by Jay, and I will never pronounce their business name correctly. It's Mitosu. Wish I could say it, but I can't. Crafts. I absolutely loved a card that he made. He stamped on some designer series paper and made this whole night scene with the fox, and it was gorgeous. So I tried to put my own spin on it because I have been wanting to play with this set, and I did think about it with the mountains. So I tried. This card, well, Vicky could tell you, I don't know if she's coming in this morning, but I tried a lot of different things on this card because I like to pack our Saturday mornings with tips and just stretching the limits. Good morning, Jan. Linda, I'm telling you, it's been a few weeks for my printer, and I have just been completely frustrated. I can get it to print every once in a while, and it's new. So I don't have time to replace that one. But anyway, I loved Jay's card. So if any of you are familiar with Jay, he's a demonstrator in the UK. He and his partner, Barry, and I just love a lot of their things. And I've taken some of his coloring classes. So it is, Linda. It's very different. And I don't think they're meant to be used on the same card. So they're meant to be like doodles, sketches. And so I do like them, and I think they could make very simple cards. Good morning, Deb. Oh, it is cooling off here in Ohio, so I'm glad about that. I hate to say I want to rush summer because I absolutely love summer. I love hanging out by our pool with my kiddos, and well, some of them aren't really kiddos anymore. They're adults, and we have just really enjoyed this summer. My husband retired from a job and took a new job, and he has a lot more time off. So we have been really enjoying and soaking up our time together. So I hate to see summer go, but school starts next week. I can't even believe it. And then, fall's around the corner. So, but yeah, I agree. I know the images seem, it's not a stamp set that has a theme, if you will. The theme is a sketch. So, I do like it though. I love the fox. We had a red fox on our property a few years ago, and I loved watching them run across the field in the mornings. So this was my attempt to do my own version of Jay's card. He did some masks and sponging, and of course his is just amazing. So if you get a chance, pop over to their page and check it out. Here's another one that I did because, like I said, this one I used white ink, and I used the watercolor shapes to try to stamp a huge moon, and I used mountain air to stamp some mountains, and I stamped some trees in here even though you can't see them. Everything just kind of got covered up, and I masked, and this is actually on crumb cake. So, I just wanted to see what it would look like. He used a piece of paper. Let me tell you what he used here. Let me see. I think it was from this paper pack. I'm probably wrong, but let me see if I can see. Yes, it was. It was from this Saleabration paper pack. And on the back of these birds is this gorgeous watercolored, it looks like an alcohol, that alcohol technique. He stamped on this and then did his night scene, and it was really cool. So if you have that Saleabration item, you could do that. I didn't want to copy him exactly. I wanted to test out some of my own ideas. Thank you, Linda. So I colored too hard. My masking paper ripped my cardstock. I had a horrible time with this crumb cake for some reason. And you might not be able to see it, but up close you can definitely feel it. So I felt so frustrated. I do like it, but I thought this might be a little bit too much to reproduce. And so I thought, well, I would like it simplified. So here, Vicki and I were crafting on Wednesday, and I was working through this card and what I wanted to do. And she said, why don't you make it like a dusk scene or a sunset? And so I don't know if you guys can see this. I used the shimmery white. It has a little bit of sparkle to it. And I created a mask, and then I sponged. So I colored my fox and I masked him. And then I created a mask for this. Could be the moon, the sun, whatever you want to interpret it as. And then I stamped with the mountain air and then sponged everything on. So this morning I want to get going, and what do you guys think? Do you like the colors I used on this card? I used rich raspberry. I really wanted it dark. It didn't come out as dark as I wanted, but that's okay. That's why we play and have fun. So what do you guys want to try this morning? Would you like to see how I did this? This one I think will take way too long. I used craft white ink, which was really messy with the masking because it does not absorb into anything like a sticky note. But I thought we could do this simpler version and maybe explore some colors. So I have some brand new blending brushes over here because once I use Rich Raspberry or Night of Navy, I actually rinse my brushes because those colors have a hard time, I have a hard time rubbing those completely out of my brush. So I did grab some new brushes. I do have some colors over here. I used Rich Razzleberry and I stamped the trees in Blackberry Bliss, but I also grabbed Calypso Coral. I have Night of Navy over here. Now, my fox I stamped in Soft Suede. And after looking at this picture, I was kind of wondering if I shouldn't have used Basic Gray. So I used Soft Suede over here, but it's on Crumb Cake. So, I don't know. Let's play this morning. What do you guys think? Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, school in Ohio well, I'm not going to say all of Ohio. In my area and surrounding where we used to live, they start very early in August and we get out before Memorial Day. So who has this set? Do you guys want to, let's do this one. Throw some colors out. What do you think we should try? So I wanted to show you this one because you really need to see Jay's card. It's amazing. Mine doesn't look anything like his, but that's okay. I use the same colors. Jan, have you played with this set a lot? I really like this image. I think you could make some very simple stamped cards with these. I think this is a great set. I don't know about the ducks, but if you have someone that really likes the outdoors, this could make a great masculine card, or anybody that really likes natures. I know people who like to go to the park. We have a park that has ducks, and that's what they do. They go and they watch the ducks, or they take their kids to feed the ducks. So I think it's definitely a usable set paired with other things that you may already own, especially greetings. And, you know, I always love a good texture stamp. This is just a little bit of dottage. I haven't actually used that dottage yet. But I think it's a nice set that you can earn free. So if you have earned a lot of other things, maybe, I tend to stock up during Saleabration because I like to get the free exclusive papers and sets. And like I said, now with some things added from our annual and the mini, especially some of those dies, if you're going to be placing an order, you might as well snag a few things off your list. So what, you guys want to try this in a different color? And I'm going to show you how I made the masks. I tend to throw everything on my stamp cases. So I do have this mask that I used with Rich Razzleberry. Now, I would make a new one. So I do save these. But because I used Rich Razzleberry, if we're not using the same color or something similar to this color, it can pull this color off as soon as it gets wet again. So I tend to make new ones. I do save them most of the time. Well, Linda, I just like to do simple. And actually, I wanted this to be even simpler. And I get going and sometimes it's not. I wasn't going to add in any trees. I really wanted it to be a very simple card with a little bit of sponging, or, you know, the blending brush. And then I added this in later, and sometimes I'm just not sure. I mull over my cards for a little bit. So, but I do have the shimmery white. I do like I like the shimmer on this. So I grabbed that. And I thought we would just play with color this morning. I do have my watercolor pencils. I have not tried coloring this with blends. I know Vicky's not on this morning, but Vicky had said she colored it with blends and she wasn't real happy with it. But I haven't tried it. So I used my pencils for that. And I do like that. So Do you guys want to try it with Night of Navy? Do you want to try something else? What do you think? Do you think the mountains should be solid? I used the outline stamp, but you know the Mountain Air is reversible. So this stamp set, you can use either side to stamp. So this is a solid, and then this is the detail stamp. So throw some colors out there. Don't be shy. And let me know what you think. I have my masking paper. My cut and emboss is right next to me. So if I have to cut a new circle, that is fine. And I'm going to show you when I cut this circle, then I stamped, not sure where my other half of my mask went. I stamped the mountains on there so that I could tuck this right where I wanted it, because I did want to sponge on the mountains and just put that color on there. But I do think I like it with Night of Navy. I don't know. I guess I'm picky. I just tend to go towards the blue. So what do you guys think? Ooh, Deb says Starry Sky. You know, Vicki did, when Vicki and I were playing, she suggested that color as well, and I hadn't tried it. So, okay, Starry Sky. And you could just say dark blue. If you don't know the Stampin' Up! Colors, that's okay. I will grab what I have, and then we'll decide that way. So I would describe Starry Sky. It's definitely a dark color, but it's a blue violet, which I haven't played with this color a lot, but it is very pretty. I do like it. Anyone else want to throw it in? Or are we going to, everybody want to go with what Deb said? All right. Jenny, okay, let's do Starry Sky. Thanks, Deb. So, let me show you how I did this. I guess, now, my next question, and this is, I guess, a dilemma I have right now. And do you think our fox is stamped in soft suede? So let me pull that up for you. Do you think we should stick with soft suede with our Starry Sky or basic gray? What do you guys think? Yeah. Actually, Deb, I started doing this. I saw someone else do it. So not all of mine have this because I didn't, I often got rid of my stickers on the back before I thought to do that. This sticker is supposed to go on the inside of your pad right here. And I honestly can't get my sticker in there. So, I notice when I have my stamp pads open that I just don't pay attention to right here, and I see this much easier. So that's why I stick it there, so that when I'm looking at it and it's open, I feel like I can identify my color easier. So some of them doesn't have it, like this Blackberry Bliss, I'd already gotten rid of all my stickers, and I think my sticker's on the inside, so it doesn't have one. But any of them that I thought about it afterwards, I use that. And I saw someone else have that on theirs, and they had a sticker on the inside and down this side, and I just thought, what a great idea. And I don't recall who that was. That was probably years ago. So you can see some of mine do not have that sticker. I could do that. Some of them I kept the stickers on the back and some not. So, but that is why I do that. Okay, I have a vote for soft suede and a vote for gray. So you know gray is always my go-to color. I just automatically stamp when I'm looking for a neutral with my basic gray. I don't always think to use the browns. I don't know why. I go through phases. At one point, early espresso and soft suede were my go-to. Ooh, I see another vote for gray. Oh, we're tied. Is anyone else want to jump in? If you're watching, I promise we don't bite. Pull my wolf out here. Oh, hi, Danette. She says soft suede. All right. Trying to fit him on my block here. All right. I think soft suede won. I'm going to have to try it later in the gray because I feel like I would like the gray better. But that's me. That is my preference. So I love that you guys are jumping in and telling me what you think. And, you know, it's odd because I think when I look at the wolf and how I've colored it, I think the background color, like I thought, oh, I'm going to love this, right, with the rich raspberry. And I think the way my wolf is colored, I don't. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Mixed feelings. Okay, so I'm going to take, now this is shimmer white, and it's cut to 5 1/4 by 4. And this is not a bright white. But I don't know if you guys can pick up the shimmer of that. If you haven't seen this paper in person, I hadn't used it until we did, I bought it in July. I had never used this paper before. Okay, so I'm inking my fox up here in soft suede. And I'm going to stamp kind of toward the bottom because I feel like when you look at it in comparison to the size of the trees and the mountains, and we don't have to do the trees, I do not like the size of it. I feel like he's really close to you, and everything else is further away. So I don't know why my computer's not caught up. Dana, I saw that you commented maybe with red shading. Do you mean the sponging, or do you mean on the fox? So I'm going to stamp them about here. It's probably a little bit different spot than I chose originally. My computer is not showing me comments. Great. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so there we go. Clean them off over here. Oops, wrong stamp case here. All right, so I'm going to color him with my watercolor pencils, and then we'll move on to all the messy parts, you know, the fun parts. So I copied, and I don't remember all the colors that Jay used, but I used Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, and I have a little bit of crushed curry and pumpkin pie just to add a few highlights in there. See something here. Okay, sorry. For some reason, my comments weren't showing up. So on the fox, red or gold? Okay. Well, I will warn you, if you haven't played, and I have everything in front of me, so I'm sorry. My arms are going to be in this a lot. Oh, okay. Perfect highlight colors. Yes. Well, we don't have gold, so our pencils That's why I'm using the crushed curry, because when this isn't activated, it's like a golden brown. Now the red, we have cherry cobbler. The real red looks more like a pink color. So we could use, I would guess, cherry cobbler. So let me move a few things over here. So we could try this. Let me sharpen this really quick. I like to keep my pencils kind of sharp. Some people like them duller. So you can use them how you like. Okay, so let's add in some red. You want to take the pumpkin pie away and add in red? And I would say for a gold color, I would use the crushed curry. And I have a little bit of white because this isn't true white paper. So, so I started off, and I'm just going to show you what I did. I just started adding in lines. I'm not coloring fully. I'm just adding in lines. And then so, okay. So Jenny says, take out the pumpkin pie. So we're going to use Cajun Craze. And I think this reminds me of what they call a red fox. I think it's more of a dark orange. And then we can add in some red. And I'm just adding in little flicks of it. And I'm trying to go, oh, I think I do like that. Good call, Dana and Jenny. I'm just trying to follow the sketch lines of the artist. And then I'm also using Early Espresso. And I'm just kind of filling in. And I'm going to do it really dark down here on the feet. So I'm just going to keep going back and forth until I feel it's filled in the way I would like. Good morning, Dad. Thanks for joining us. And then I'm leaving some white spots. So I'm kind of following what Jay did and where he left the white spots. So you always want to start off kind of light and then come back in and add more pressure. So what do you guys think so far? And then I'm going to add this white pencil in just because the shimmery white is not a bright white, and I want these parts to be white. I forgot to leave some white on this leg. That's okay. He looks all right. So there is our fox. I just did a quick color. Now we're going to add in our background. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. Since we're using Starry Sky, I'm not too worried about it pulling that rich raspberry off. And all I did is I used the masking paper. So again, Stampin' Up! Has this in the annual catalog, and you have a sheet like this. You want to make sure this is the side that has the backing, so you want to make sure you stamp on this side, the opposite side of that. And I just stamped on this and then cut around it with my scissors. And I'm going to put this right over top. And I cut it really close. And I want to make sure that it's covered up. I'm not worried about the sketch lines. We're going to blend over that and try to dull those so that they don't show up as much. Now, I stamped the mountains, and I used my Stamparatus because I have to push really hard. Even though these this masking paper is thin, it's thinner than a Post-it note, I have to push pretty hard to get the image around this. So, I'm going to use that instead of a block. I'm going to use my new Chucky tool. So, I'm using my Night of Navy brush with this. It will work okay. Let me get these out of the way. I feel like I have too many things right in front of me or right next to me. Okay. I'm going to put this right in here. And I want this to be held down really well because these are photopolymer and they're very sticky. So on this card, we have a few more decisions to make. On this card, I stamped my mountain range in Rich Razzleberry, the same color that I was sponging it with. So do you guys want to do, this was kind of a monotone card except for my fox. So do you want to stamp the mountains in the Starry Sky? Or would you like to go with something like the basic gray? Or if we want to stick to the same color that we used for the fox, we could use soft suede. Good morning, Vicki. I'm glad you came on. Surprise us. Oh, Deb. Oh, well, now I've got to think about it, don't I? I'm actually kind of I have mixed feelings. I really want to stamp it in Starry Sky because I like the monotone effect. But I'm also thinking it might be, it might work to have it in soft suede. That's my thought process. Oh no, Vicky. Oh, you'll have to fill me in later. I hope everything is going to be okay. You certainly don't have to apologize for being late. Prayers for Chris. You guys need, if everybody could keep Vicky in your prayers today, or your good thoughts, or whatever you do, good vibes, whatever you want to send her. Let's all lift our tribe buddy up here. Okay, so let's see. Let's just try. What do you think? Does anybody else want to vote for Starry Sky or Soft Suede? I think I'm going towards Starry Sky. I think that's what I would do. So let me place my mountains and think about it for just a sec here. So I'm just placing these. I've put my mask on my little fox here. I keep wanting to call him a wolf. And I think he could be. I think he could be a wolf if you colored him that way. I think it's supposed to be a fox. I don't know. I called it a fox, but it's a sketch. It's a line drawing. So I think you could interpret it and kind of color it how you wanted. Because I was looking at, I used my greeting on my other card was from this set, and here is a wolf in this one. And so I think it could kind of go for both. Okay, so Jenny's helping me out here. She says Starry Sky, which is what I was kind of going for. So I'm going to move this up just a tad. And I do have, oops, sorry about that. I do have my foam mat in here. So remember, if you're doing photopolymer stamps, you want to make sure that you use your foam mat. Okay, here we go. And I don't know about anybody else, but my in-color pads are very, very juicy. I don't know if you can see that on my Stamparatus, but it's very wet. So we're just going to go with it. Everybody cross your fingers. Okay, I'm going to use this. I want to make sure, whoops. I want to make sure that I get this really well stamped where this is going to overlap my little fox here. Okay. I love this tool. I need to do it again. Sometimes I have my magnets too close. So let's try it again. This is why I like using the Stamparatus, because if I mess up, I don't have to worry about trying to line it up again, because you want to make sure this area right here, especially. Now, a little confession time here. Mine had a little white space, and I used my watercolor pencil to kind of fill it in so that there wasn't a white gap. I know. Thank goodness, right? I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to embarrass Bob again. But I do love this. I do love it. So I think that looks pretty good. And I don't mind if it's a little rustic looking, because remember, our stamp, our fox, is a sketch. So it's okay. Somewhere I have a thing to clean this off. Let's see, this is not very, it's just barely damp, but we'll get as much off as possible. So now we're going to put our other mask on, and I'm leaving the mask on my fox because I do not want him to be starry sky colored. So let's see, let's take this off. And I did my trees last. So I have a grubby paper here. And I will tell you guys, if you guys buy the grid paper, I love the grid paper. And I use every square inch of it, and then I fold it over and use the back side as well. So now once I'm done with something and I've sponged on it, I usually toss it because I'm always afraid I'm going to pick this ink up onto my next project. Okay, so here's my circle. And what I did is I cut a circle with my layering circle die cuts. Then I stamped the mountains on it and cut it away with scissors so that I could tuck this in here. And I think it's okay if I have a little white space on the top of the mountains because it's like the light is touching it. Okay, here we go. So I have a design question for you guys. Are you guys ready? On this one, okay, I stamped this with white ink and I had masks all over the place. And then I sponged around the edge with Night of Navy. And it was on crumb cake, so a lot different look. On this one, I just sponged over on this side. I didn't do the whole page. So my question is, do you think I should do the whole page? Do you think I should sponge everything so that it looks like a complete night scene? Or do you like some of the shimmery white coming through? I do too, Deb. I love a night scene. I just like that look. So we have very dark, we have brighter with a little more white, but I can sponge the entire sheet so that everything's dark except for the fox. And I also have, the white pencil is really hard to get a good highlight. I mean, it just is not going to color over some of the other colors as well. I do still have my old marker, the marker pens we had, and I also have white gel pens. So on this one, I used a white gel pen to add in a few highlights. So Vicki votes whole thing. Danette votes a night scene. I agree, Linda. Well, let's just start playing a little bit and we'll see what we like, right? And remember, this is very juicy. So this is, to me, this almost looks like my Night of Navy when I was sponging it on. So I got to be really careful because I'm going to end up with that. I don't want that. So that's what it's going to look like without the blob. We're going to try not to have any blobs. So you guys ready? I always get nervous, and I don't know why, but I do. I guess because I colored, and when you love your coloring, it's, yeah, this is a little blobby. Hold on. Let me get my spoon here. Look what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to pull some of this over. So this is what I do. I'm moving the ink on my ink pad. I'm using a spoon and I'm gently trying to pull that ink over a little bit so that when I grab ink out of the middle, it's not as juicy. And I'm using baby wipes to clean off my spoon because I save these. I just clean it off and then I stick it back over here. Okay. All right. Let's start. So I started on my mask, and obviously we're going to want it lighter around where this light source anyway. And I thought the shimmery white would be great because it has a little glitter to it. And I thought that was perfect for night scenes. Now we don't have a watercolor pencil that looks like this color, but if I have any white space, we'll just improvise and work on it. So I'm starting, and then I'm going to work my way, and I'm going to make this darker. And this is the messy part, because when you're sponging, it gets really, really messy. I want this side really dark. Can you guys see this sparkle? I can't tell on camera. I'm trying to see if my light will catch it, but it looks really pretty. And I'm going to do this down here as well. That's why I left my fox covered. Now, I didn't do it as much on the one that I did with Rich Razzleberry. I left it a lot more white, like it's the sun coming up or something. It definitely looks like a cool night. I love it. This was a perfect color choice. And I hadn't really used this, and Vicky suggested the other day, and I went with Rich Razzleberry. But you and Deb were right. Starry Sky is perfect. I just always I always tend to go towards the Blackberry Bliss. And you will end up inky. So I'm trying to get this bottom part really dark. In this corner. Okay, let me wipe my fingers off really quick because I do have ink everywhere. I know, you're right, Vicki. You're right. Teamwork does. And you saw how much I struggled creating this card. Struggled as in making decisions and what do I want to try and how do I work this out. So I do take a lot of time sometimes when I'm coming up with what we are doing or working on together because I want you to step outside that comfort zone. And I hope that I can inspire you to do that. And I know that you guys definitely do me. I am definitely loving when you guys give me suggestions that are not something I would pick, because then I'm trying it right along with you. Okay, so let me move those out just a little bit. So we have our two masks on. What do you guys think? It is beautiful, Vicki. I love it. Great color choice. And I do love, I am a total blue, teal, blue, violet. I love those colors. So this is definitely a unique color that I've seen from Stampin' Up. I don't remember all the colors they've ever done or anything, but since I've become a demonstrator, I think this is definitely in one of my piles and my favorites, and I need to make sure I use it because I tend to love things and then not use them until they're about to retire. So don't do what I did. Don't do that. Use it now. Enjoy it. Okay, what do you guys think? Are you ready to reveal the white parts? Or do you think I should go even darker? Do you think I should keep kind of adding some layers down here and make it even darker? Tell me what you think. And now this brush, it's kind of hard to pull these really dark colors out, especially because I'm kind of pushing hard and this is really juicy. So I take this to my sink and I rinse it with water until all the ink or as much as the ink as I can get comes out. And then I just stick it in my little, where I dry my dishes, like my silverware, and let it dry overnight. So I don't use soap on it. I just rinse it. This ink is water-based, so I just rinse it out. I hadn't decided that, Vicki. I was going to leave the trees off of this one. You probably, I don't know if you were here when I said that. I just don't know that I like the trees with it. So I'm thinking of leaving the tree off. I am. Or maybe just doing those. We could do maybe these trees in the background, this long set of trees. So it's like behind our fox. But I'm just not loving the size of that tree with my fox. Now, Jay used it on his card and it looked wonderful. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. It's just my perception of it, I guess. But what do you guys think? Should we add in some trees like this that are way in the background from our fox? Obviously, the mountains are way behind him, right? They're smaller compared to his size. So I'm creating some depth here on my card. And we have this big super moon. And you could make yours smaller or down, lower. You obviously could change that. This stamp set does have a little moon with it. So if you wanted, this works with one of our circle dies. I think the smallest one. You could have had it up in the sky instead of down behind your mountain. Or you could stamp that and cut around it and create a mask. You don't have to have the circle dies or use a circle punch. Okay, Vicky says leave the tree off. Anybody else have a... Okay, so Jenny says use this one. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be something, but I do like it simple. I like it pretty simple too. Or maybe I just, I need something, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I like. Sometimes I'm not sure. It takes a little time for me sometimes to work out what I want to do. And that's okay. Sometimes I walk away from it and decide in a little bit. So, what do you guys think? Trees. So let's say, let's do this. Let's make this a little simpler on us. Tree line, and it's going to be stamped in Starry Sky. We're going to do all, it's like a monotone. It's all the same colors. Tree line. So it'll go like that. Or no trees. Tree line or no. Or just say yes or no. Was that easier? So on this one, I did use that tree line, but I was sponging and stamping, and I flipped it over and did the solid mountain, and then I lost all my trees because I did them all in the same color. So that, I mean, you might not be able to tell it on the card, but that was actually what I did. Anyone else want to jump in? And then we're basically just going to choose a greeting and choose the card base. And now on this card, I used Knight of Navy. And of course, I did black, white, Knight of Navy. On this one, it's a little simpler layout. And I used Blackberry Bliss. So I'm going to see if I have Starry Sky. I think I do. Somewhere. I rearranged my room. And I keep walking to where I used to have things instead of where I have them now. So I do have a piece of Starry Sky that we could use as the base. So I want it to stay dark. Okay, I'm just waiting. I don't know. Anybody else have a preference? I'm just cutting a Starry Sky base here. Okay, so I only had 12 by 12 paper, so I had to cut some down. Let's hope I cut it right. So on this original card, I used this perched in a tree limb, but I don't know that it's going to look right on this bigger sized card. I think it'll look out of place, where here we used it to kind of ground this side and add a greeting. Linda, and I understand that sometimes scene building can be overwhelming. And I think that's, you know, sometimes I have those same feelings with it too. So here's our card, and there's the card base. So really, in this moment, what I kind of ask myself when I'm deciding this is, see how the mountains just look like they blend. They don't have a ground. I don't feel like they're grounded. And it looks fine as is. I'm not saying it's wrong. But sometimes I feel like I need to add something to kind of ground that card or that scene. Oh, don't worry about that, London. No, nobody cares. nobody paid attention to that. We knew what you meant. No worries, no worries. So sometimes that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a little separation. Does it need some separation so that it adds another layer into that background to help your foreground kind of pop and come even closer to you. So I try to think about the size of things and how they're going to fit. So let's just go ahead and do it. And if we hate it, we'll know on the next card not to do that. So I'm going to add it in. I do feel like it kind of needs, sorry, I have to keep moving my coffee. My coffee keeps getting in the way. I feel like I do need to do something with it. That's just my preference. And I think if you wanted to add some things, you know, that are closer, like the limb that Vicky suggested, I feel like this looks really close. Like this would be closer to me because of the size than the fox. And I keep wanting to say wolf, so if I say that, I'm sorry. So I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to leave this, mask on. I don't want to bring it down too far. Oh my gosh, here we go. So I feel like this might work. And it's just going to add a little bit of ground here, and it's going to add just a little depth from those mountains and then the ground that's coming towards you. Okay. Oops. So those are the things I kind of think about, questions that I ask myself when I'm stamping, and I'm trying to decide what I want and where I want it. Need some extra magnet down there. Okay. Okay, here we go. And remember, I have it on the Stamparatus, so I could make this very, very dark by inking and stamping and inking and stamping. As long as my trees don't move. Sometimes I have such an issue. These trees like to, they stick to the paper, and then my magnets move. My paper moves a little bit, and I never get it lined up. I think it's a user error on my part. So let's see. Fingers crossed. I might have my magnets too close. And I'm pressing really hard where that fox is, because I want to make sure I don't have a bunch of white gaps. Yes, Vicky, you could use black. You could definitely use black. I don't know how Night of Navy would look. I need this a little bit more right here where this overlaps. See, I have just a little tiny white gap there, and I have some there. I think I'm going to ink it again. I guess I didn't think of Night of Navy. I'm thinking more monotone. So, and I do think Night of Navy works for night scenes, because I think when you're out looking out, everything's not always just black. But yes, black would definitely have been darker. We're going to try it. We're going with it. I use Starry Sky. So it blends in a little bit, which is kind of what I want. Ooh, I like it. What do you guys think? I do like it. I'm worried about this little white spot here. See, and you can see it on my stamp. There, that's a little bit better. Okay. All right, are you guys ready? Do you think this needs to be darker before I take all the masks off? Oh man, I have ink all over me again. What's new? I'm gonna move this out of the way and get another baby wipe out. Sign of a great fun day, right? When you have ink all over you. Okay, so I don't know why. I feel like this corner should be just a tad darker. I'm going to pick up just a little more ink. Make sure my hands aren't wet. Okay. All right, Beth. Anyone else feel like you could just keep overdoing it? That's what I do. Okay, let me run this out a little bit, just trying to get the excess off. And they do stain. Your brushes will stain. That's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay. You guys ready for the reveal? Here we go. Let me grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to try to lift this up and not tear it. I want to save this mask just in case. I might want to use it again. So I'm just going to gently lift it. Wow. And I'm putting my mask. I normally store them right inside my case because obviously I want to use this with the mountains so I can use that again. Let me put these away before I lose them. This is a well-loved set on my shelf. I've used this a ton. So you can see it looks kind of grimy and definitely stained. I love this set. Hello, Judy. Thanks for joining us. Okay, here it goes. Here's our little fox. And see, I have a little bit of white there, but I think it's okay. And I'm going to stick this in wherever my case went with this stamp set. There we go. So there is our moon scene. Now, we don't sell the chalk marker anymore, but you could use this to kind of add in some brighter white spots. Or I have these gel pens, and I just got these on Amazon. I couldn't get it to work the other day. I haven't used them for a while. But I used this to just kind of add in some white highlights. And you can do it on your mountains too. Mine don't want to work very well, but you kind of get the idea. Love it. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up here with the comments. My computer wants to be slow. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Deb. So I do like this color. It works really well. So if you have the starry sky, Vicki said, flick some stars in the sky. What color are we flicking? So if you could do white ink. I would probably want to mask everything because I wouldn't want it down here. You could also flick water, would react with this. Or we could do Wink of Stella. Jenny, I'm telling you, I love this paper. I just, when you see this card up close, it is shimmery. So it just has a great, great finish on it. I love it. I know it's hard to pick up on the camera, but it just looks so shimmery. Now we could do some more Wink of Stella. So you could add some Wink of Stella in here. Like your mountains are glistening, right, from that light. You could also add it onto your fox here. A little glistening. And just adds to this gorgeous paper. Now, if you want a shadow, so on this one, I used blends to make this really dark because I kept sponging and brushing on ink and it wasn't getting as dark as I wanted. So we could come in with the Starry Sky blends and it's going to change the look of your card a little bit. So be prepared for that. You could come in and add that in. But I'm just going to leave it. What do you guys think? And then if you want to flick, I didn't see if Vicki answered me, but if you want to flick this, take the lid back off. You could take this and you can either tap it like this, and you want to squirt this so that it's kind of juicy. Oh, not that much. Oh, careful. Not that much. Good thing that wasn't on my project, right? So, careful when you squirt it. Or squeeze it, I should say. We don't want it. Oh, man. Let's dab some of that up. Hold on. What can we... Let's just... Wow. That's really... That's not what we wanted, was it? I need a paper towel almost here. Okay, let's try this again. Not quite that much. Well, there's a lot of sparkle right there. That's okay. We're just going to tap some of this, or try to. I'm just going to try to smear it out. Maybe. Well, don't do that. And it will react, oops, with your sponging. Now I've gone and messed it up. Let's see if I can fix it. So it's really sparkly. I'm going to sponge a little bit more on. So don't do what I did and squeeze your Wink of Stella and mess up your paper. Because it does react with your ink. And I don't have my mask on, so I'm going to try to do this very carefully. Now it just looks like there's clouds in the sky, I guess. Trying to smooth that out because I don't like what I did there. So, note to self, aren't you glad I tried it and not you? I'm just using a paper towel and I'm kind of smudging it. So we have a sparkly sky, not what I intended. But that's okay. And then I'm going to smear this around a little bit. I'm going to try to be careful not to get my moon. So I've texturized my sky. My sister says leave it. I just can't help it. You know, when things don't go as you originally planned. Oh, I think it looks okay though. Maybe it looks better. Wipe my hands off again. What do you guys think? Vicki, you don't have to be sorry. It was my fault. I squeezed it because I wanted it to be, I wanted a little bit more on the end so I could flick it. And I guess I shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. That was my fault. And then, yes, you could splatter some water on here. Whatever you do, because it's sponged, it's going to leave, anything will react with that ink and re-wet it and kind of move it around. So I shouldn't have moved the Wink of Stella. I should have just blotted it up. So my mistake is your gain. And sometimes apparently they can be happy mistakes if you like the texture. So don't fret. Just keep playing with it. I do like my card. It's not exactly how I originally planned, but that's okay. A lot of my cards don't turn out how I originally planned. So, oops, I haven't glued it yet. So that is what it looks like. Ooh, the adhesive eraser takes sparkle off? I had no idea. What do I do with mine? Mine's laying here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Ooh, so this takes sparkle off. Let's just test it out. Interesting. Ooh, it does. Nice. Nice tip, Linda. Thank you. Thanks, Deb. Thanks, Danette. So like I said, when we come here on Saturday mornings, I take all the chances. You guys get to tell me all the things. and then we just get to discover together. So I'm going to adhere this down, and I'll probably have stuff all over me when I'm done. We've got to add a greeting. What do you guys think? I did sending birthday wishes on this one, and I did happy birthday on this one, and I have, get to them. Now, the greeting, I was thinking the greeting could fit on one of these strips. This is the sparkle, the shimmery paper, the shimmery white. And of course, when I cut my layers, I had some strips left. So, and honestly, I don't sit and make a ton of cards like this. So when I make cards with this much sponging and detail and masking, it's typically, I make one or two and they're special cards for somebody. So I don't mass produce this type of card. But as you can see, you could get it done fairly quickly if you have decided all the things that you like ahead. I'm going to try to take some of that Wink of Stella off right there. And this worked great. Thanks for that tip, Linda. Love it. I use that thing for a lot of things, but I never thought about using it for the Wink of Stella. So Vicki votes for no greeting. So it would be a strip, and yes, it would be kind of bright, maybe compete with your fox a little bit. You could sponge this, you know, brush on some color, and then stamp your greeting so that it's darker. So like on this one, I used crumb cake and then I sponged Night of Navy around on it so it would match my card. Bye, Linda. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me this morning and spending some time with me. You'll have to see. I'll post a picture later if we decided to put a greeting on or not. What do you guys think? I tend to agree with Vicki. I do like it without a greeting, or I would want a greeting stamped really dark, maybe, with the starry sky, or you could heat emboss a greeting. You could use Versamark and stamp right onto this and heat emboss a greeting. Or we can leave it with no greeting. And on the inside, I have some more pieces of this shimmer. You could use this. Shimmer paper is a little, costs a little bit more than our basic white and the Very Vanilla. So you could also use Very Vanilla in here. I think it would look fine. Or you could use a basic white sheet in here for your message. Or if you want it to match and have that sparkly feel, you can use another piece of the shimmer white. But I'm going to be pretty conservative with this. So I would probably go with maybe basic white. Let's see. I'm going to grab a sheet of basic white. I think Very Vanilla works really well. Shimmer white is in between basic white and Very Vanilla. So you can see there's quite a difference between these two. That's where our original is. But I think it's okay when you put it on the inside. And for the inside, you could stamp the mountains or a tree if you want to decorate the inside of your card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. And I'm just using liquid glue. go. So there's our card. I must have had a little bit of water. See that little water drop there? That's okay. That's all right. And then I'm gonna adhere this on the inside. I don't think I want to stamp anything in it. Sometimes I stamp after. That's okay. I use my Stamparatus to make sure that I'm not messing anything up, especially if I have a finished card. And I might stamp on it later. I might stamp a greeting on the inside. That's where we could put our greeting, is on the inside of the card. But if you don't know how you want to use this card yet, you could always leave that off until you find the occasion that you want to gift this or use this card. I don't have any votes on greeting, so let's just leave the greeting off. That's okay. It's okay to have a card with no greeting on the front. So here's my original when I was inspired by Jay. He did a night scene, and he stamped on designer series paper. I just used crumb cake. I wanted to use a little bit different, something different that I don't do very often. This one is the shimmer white, and I made a mask and sponged in rich razzleberry. This was Night of Navy and Blackberry Bliss on that. And this one is, we did the same layout minus the big trees. We added some little trees and we used Starry Sky. I love it. Thank you guys so much for helping me today. I've really enjoyed our time together. I used Mountain Air. So you could buy, if you don't have the Mountain Air set, you could get the Mountain Air set and the coordinating dies and earn this one free. This is a Saleabration set, so you have to earn it free with a $50 purchase before tax and shipping. If you don't have Starry Sky, you could also buy the ink pad. On my original card, this one, I use this branch, and this does have dies. I believe these dies are in the, if you spend $100 for Saleabration, I think you can get these dies for free. So you could build up some paper and adhesives and maybe a stamp set that you want and get the dies free if you don't have this yet. On this one, I stamped with this as my moon, the watercolor shapes, and I used craft white. And I will warn you, it was very, very, very messy. I used Wildlife Wonder, Sending Birthday Wishes, and I used this Happy Birthday here. So grab out what you have and see what you can use with it if you already have the set. If you don't, think about some things you'd like to add. Maybe you need paper or adhesive, or you want to grab the watercolor pencils. I colored all three with the watercolor pencil. I did use a non-Stampin' Up! Product. I used this gel pen just to add some highlights in. And there we have it. Thank you, Vicki. I loved all of this. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products, please visit my online store at shop.stampandcreatewithbeth.com. And if you have any questions or you need help ordering, please feel free to message me anytime. If you had fun this morning on this video, please give me lots and lots of love, share with your other crafty friends, or invite them to join us and participate on Saturday mornings. I absolutely love my time with you. You guys help me expand out beyond my comfort zones, and I hope that I can inspire you and show you the creative process of making cards and whatever project we're working on. Today we built a scene and we did masking, and we had some fun with an animal stamp. Not everybody feels comfortable with those. I love them, and I think you can make very simple cards or very avid cards like we did today. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care.